Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever booked a flight only to be stopped at the airport? Not because your passport expired, not because your ticket was wrong, but because of something you didn't even know existed, a transit visa. This is one of the most common and most expensive travel mistakes global travelers make. And today, I want to explain exactly what a transit visa is, who needs one, who doesn't, and how to avoid travel disruptions, especially if you're traveling between Africa, Europe, and the USA, because one missing detail can cancel your entire journey. Here's what usually happens. Someone books an international flight online. The route looks perfect. The price is great. The connection time is short. Everything seems fine until airport check-in. Suddenly, the airline staff asks, "Do you have a transit visa?" And the traveler says, "A what?" This moment has ruined more trips than flight delays ever will. So let's break it down. A transit visa is a visa that allows you to pass through a country on your way to another destination. You are not entering that country. You are not staying there. You may only be changing planes, sometimes without even leaving the airport. But here's the part most people don't know. Some countries still require a visa for that, and that's where travelers get caught. Transit visas exist because countries control who passes through their borders. Not all passports are treated the same. Security and immigration rules differ across the world. So even if you're only transiting for 2 hours, or 5 hours, or overnight, you may still need permission. Now, let's clear up a few myths. Many people believe that if they don't leave the airport, they don't need a visa. That's not always true. Some people assume that if the airline sold them the ticket, everything must be fine. That's also not true. Airlines sell tickets. They don't check visa eligibility for every passport. Others believe that if they've traveled before, they're safe. But visa rules change all the time. This is why travelers get surprised. You may need a transit visa if you are transiting through Europe, especially the Schengen area. You may need one if you are transiting through the United Kingdom. You may need one if you are transiting through Canada, and in some cases, parts of Asia or the Middle East. This is especially common for travelers from Africa or travelers holding passports with stricter entry rules. Let me give you a real example. A traveler flying from Nigeria to Canada. The flight connects through Germany. The traveler doesn't plan to leave the airport, but Germany is part of the Schengen zone. Without a valid Schengen transit visa, that traveler may be denied boarding in Nigeria. The trip is canceled. Money is lost. Stress is guaranteed. Here's another example. A traveler flying from Ghana to the United States. The flight connects through the United Kingdom. Depending on the passport and visa status, a UK direct airside transit visa may be required. Many travelers find this out too late. Another area that confuses people is the difference between airside and landside transit. Airside transit means you stay inside the international terminal. You don't pass immigration. But even then, some countries still require a visa. Landside transit means you leave the airport. You pass immigration. And in that case, you always need a visa. The problem is that most travelers don't know which one applies to their route. And that's why Google is often not enough. People search online for, "Do I need a transit visa?" But the real answer depends on many factors. Your passport, your destination, your transit country, your airline, your layover time, whether you change terminals, whether you change airports. That's not a simple search result. That's professional travel planning. Travel between Africa, Europe, and the USA often involves multiple airlines, multiple countries, and multiple transit rules. One route may be safe. Another route, going to the same destination, may require one or even 2 transit visas. This is where travelers get caught. At Global PanAfrica Travel Group, this is something we check before booking any ticket, not after, before. We analyze the passport being used. We review current transit visa rules. We consider airline policies, and we choose safer routing options. Sometimes we deliberately avoid a cheaper route because we already know it will cause visa problems. That's not guesswork. That's experience. Getting transit visa rules wrong can be expensive. It can mean losing flight tickets, losing non-refundable bookings, paying visa application fees again, missing important travel deadlines, and sometimes losing the entire trip. You should be extra careful if you travel internationally often, if you hold an African passport, if you fly long haul, or if you book multi-stop flights. You should also be careful if you're traveling for work, study, relocation, or family reasons. Here's the truth. Transit visas are not really a travel problem. They are a planning problem. And planning is where professionals matter. A professional travel agent chooses routes that reduce visa risk. They avoid problematic transit countries. They confirm airline and immigration rules. And they protect your journey before you even leave home. Online platforms don't do that. They assume you already know. At Global PanAfrica Travel Group, we help travelers move safely between continents. Africa, Europe, USA, and beyond. We don't just book flights. We design routes that work. So before you book your next international flight, before you assume everything is fine, ask yourself one simple question. Do I really understand my transit requirements? If you want professional travel planning and peace of mind, visit Global PanAfrica Travel Group today to make an inquiry. Your journey deserves expert care.